As a wise man once said, it can't go on like this. It can.
It can't go on like this, can it?
It can.
It's getting tiresome and many Derby County fans are beginning to lose their cool. Another weekend without victories. Derby County fell to a 1-1 draw with Wrexham. Despite the fact it was a brilliant goal from Ben Brereton-Diaz, Derby County looked lacklustre in the final third and barely created any opportunities. But they have just 24 hours until another opportunity to put it right as Derby County face up against Charlton Athletic at Pride Park Stadium on Tuesday, the 30th of September. Now, this is going to be a huge game for Derby County and a huge game for John Eustace, in my opinion. Now, do not get me wrong. I don't think John Eustace is going to be under any pressure from the hierarchy, but at some point, the fans will turn. We saw this with Paul Warne, despite the fact he had credit in the bank from the promotion season. It soon went, the credit soon went, and Derby County certainly haven't looked great so far this season. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Derby County versus Charlton. It's going to be a huge game for Derby County, and the fan base cannot wait for it. Hopefully, 3 points will come back Derby's way, but shall we get into it? Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket with a range of different bundles available to you where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets. And all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DTFC kit of your choice. Now, obviously, for Derby County, it's not been the greatest start to the season, and that's something that we have to acknowledge. Derby County have picked up just 1 league win all season, a couple of league draws, one with Wrexham, Ipswich and Bristol City. They've picked up a couple of defeats as well to the likes of Coventry, Stoke, Burnley and Preston North End, and ultimately it has not been a great start to the season. Now, Charlton Athletic are in a little bit of a similar boat, but they seem to have turned the tide recently, currently sitting at 3 unbeaten with a draw against Millwall, a win against Sheffield United and a 3-1 victory over Blackburn Rovers. But they do have 2 defeats in there, 3-1 to Cambridge and 3-1 to QPR. But it is going to be an interesting afternoon. Now, let's talk about Derby County's injury situation, because it isn't really great. Corey Blackett-Taylor is out for the next few weeks. Curtis Nelson is not even registered for the squad. Liam Thompson is expected to miss the next 5 weeks. Owen Beck is due to play in a game this week for the B team or the under-21s, but we probably won't see him until after the international break. And Sondre Langas could have been back at the weekend, but for some reason wasn't. Ultimately, I don't know why. Now, for Charlton Athletic, they only have Matt Godden injured. He's got a knee injury, expected back in early October. Now, realistically, let's take a look at the league table. Charlton Athletics at 7th, 11 points from 7 games, 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats, 7 goals scored, 5 conceded, a +2 on goal difference. They find themselves in an excellent position. I'm not going to turn around and lie about that. They are in a brilliant position. Now, it's not been an outrageous start to the season for them, but over recent weeks, they've really turned it around. 2 back-to-back wins, a draw in there as well over the last 3 games has been absolutely phenomenal for them. Now, Derby County, on the other hand, sit on 6 points. Yes, it is only 5 points away from Charlton Athletic, but it's been, in my opinion, a horrific start for the Rams. 1 win, 3 draws and 3 defeats in the league. 9 goals scored, 13 conceded. Derby County have gone from having arguably one of the best defences in the Championship over the course of last season, over the course of the back end of last season under John Eustace, to having arguably the leakiest defence in the league, partnering that with Sheffield Wednesday, Sheffield United, Hull City. Wrexham have also scored, conceded 13. Queen's Park Rangers have conceded 13 as well. But Derby are scoring goals as well. They've got 9 goals to their name. That puts them in a decent area in terms of goals scored. Now, in terms of home form, Derby County, again, just 1 point in 3 games, which gives Charlton Athletic a huge boost heading into this one. But when we look at the away form, Charlton Athletic have just 4 points from 3 games. 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat. They've only scored 2 goals away from home, which no doubt for Derby County means that they're going to score 5 and we're going to lose 5-0. But we will wait and see. Now, obviously, for Derby County, there was a huge decision made at the weekend, and it was that Patrick Agyemang came in and so did Andreas Weimann, replacing Callum Elder and Bobby Clark. Now, in my opinion, I felt like Andy Weimann was very non-existent in the game, if I'm completely honest. Again, I don't necessarily think it was his fault. I think it's the way Derby are playing at the moment. I just don't think it's great, if I'm completely honest. I think the double pivot that we have of Adams and Travis, I think is absolutely horrendous. I don't think you can play 2 proper holding midfielders like they are and expect to create chances for me. Yes, I know you've got Brereton Diaz, you've got Morris, you've got Agyemang, you've got Weimann on the pitch, but you can't be expecting Ibu Adams to turn into some next playmaker because he's not that sort of player. You've got to do the same for Travis. He isn't that sort of player, and it's going to be huge to see how things evolve over the next few weeks. Obviously, David Ozo was brought in the second half versus Wrexham. I thought he was brilliant in the second half, and I think that shows exactly what David Ozo has got. But I also think he looks like he's lacking on confidence, and that probably comes from being dropped to the bench and not being utilised for the last 3 or 4 games. And I do feel bad for David Ozo because, in my opinion, he's the best central midfielder at the club, and ultimately he's not being treated as such. Whether there's a disagreement behind the scenes, ultimately, I do not know. But it's been a very, very poor start to the season for Derby, and in my opinion, I think you can credit that to the midfield balance at the moment. I think, obviously, we started the season with Tomo, Kenzo and Adams. We then went Tomo, Ozo. No, we went Kenzo. No, it was Tomo, Ozo and Adams, and now we're sitting with Travis and Adams, and I just don't think you can play 2 proper holding midfielders like that in a midfield 2. You need a creator, and I don't think either Adams or Travis is that. And as I said in a previous video, I believe Adams needs to get a suspension of some sort for Ozo to be given that starting opportunity. I'm not saying I want Adams out the side or anything like that, but I just think the only way that he's going to be dropped and David Ozo is going to be given a proper opportunity is if there's a suspension or an injury there. And obviously, I'm not wishing injuries on anybody, so I don't want anybody to take this in the wrong way, but I just think Derby County need Ozo in the midfield. Like, a lot of people are going to turn around and go, well, Ozo's a defensive midfielder as well, but he drives out with the ball. He isn't afraid to make the risky passes. He isn't afraid to play through the lines, and that's what I think Derby County have been missing over recent weeks. Now, Agyemang was bright versus Wrexham. I think Morris was our best player. Johnston had a bit of a 50-50 game. Brereton Diaz obviously scored the goal, but apart from that, I thought he was a little bit lacklustre, but obviously everyone will have their own opinions on that as well. In terms of Charlton, Sonny Carey, Connor Coventry, Doherty, midfield, it's a very good midfield trio. You look then at the forward line of Campbell, Kelman and Bree. Kelman's not necessarily hit the heights that maybe they wanted to early doors, but a very, very good performer, very, very good performer. And you can't take away from a player like Harvey Nibbs off the bench, Miles Leeburn. There's some very good players who can come in. Kane Ramsey's another one who can have an impact. Now, if we look at the head-to-head of the 2 sides, it's 9 wins for Derby, 2 draws and 4 wins for Charlton Athletic. Derby County have won the last 3 games. Obviously, all of them were in League One. The last game taking place in 2024 on the 27th of February. In fact, I tell a lie. Derby County haven't won the last 3. Charlton won the last game. It was 2-1 in 2024. That was the game where Erin Cashin got absolutely obliterated, if I remember rightly. But a disappointing afternoon that night. But it's one of those for me where Derby County have got to pick up the pieces, and we've got to find a way to score goals. We've got to find a way to create chances, because if you do look at the league table in terms of statistics and stuff like that, Derby County's rating is 23rd in the league. Goals per game, they find themselves 10th. Conceded, they are 19th. Average possession, they are bottom of the league. Expected goals, bottom of the league. Shots on target per match, 22nd. Big chances, 23rd. Accurate long balls, 14. Accurate passes, 20th. Big chances missed, we're 24th. We've created 7 big chances this season and missed 3 of them. It is ridiculous. Accurate crosses, 22nd. Penalties awarded, we are top. We have 2, which is probably the only thing that we've done well. Touches in the opposition box, 104. Corners, we've only had 22. XG conceded, we sit 5th with 10.9. In terms of penalties conceded, we've also conceded 2. So it's 50-50 on that one. Saves per match, Zetterstrom's making 4 saves per match, which is absolutely ridiculous. We're giving away 13 fouls per game, and we've already given 23 yellow cards. We have been absolutely diabolical to start this season. And to be honest with you, when is it going to change? Who knows? But as a wise man once said, it can't go on like this. It can. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice.